The journey of the summer I turned pretty has finally reached the end of its television road, and what a ride it's been. I think we can all agree that the ending was one of those bittersweet ones. When Belly and Conrad were finally reunited, it made us pretty happy. However, it also disappointed a lot of us by excluding some key details from the book's ending. And I think you all know what I'm referring to. Thankfully, Jenny Han and Prime Video have revealed that Belly's story isn't over just yet. The saga will continue and this time conclude for good with a feature film directed by Jenny Han herself and co-written with Sarah Kuska. So let's talk about it. As you all know, the finale of Season 3 ended in Paris. Conrad surprised Belly outside her apartment, where she had been living in France, embracing the independence and self-discovery that came with stepping out of her small-town summers and into a broader world. I mean, congrats to her. However, when she saw Conrad standing in front of her door, the unresolved tension with him resurfaced despite the excitement of her Parisian life. He got to see her life, meet her new friends, and even wondered if she was dating another person. Belly, on the other hand, wrestled with her own fears and feelings. She basically fell into an existential crisis after Conrad's visit because, up until that point, she was happy with her life in France. She was, quite literally, someone else here, an independent, bold, femme fatale-like, attractive woman who lived a carefree life. But Conrad's return reminded her that this was not really who she was. And no, she couldn't avoid facing her true self any longer. Naturally, the reunion was not blissful immediately. In fact, it was pretty messy, filled with awkwardness and tension. But in the end, they came to terms with their emotions, made amends, and declared their love for one another. I thoroughly enjoyed the conclusion, which, as I mentioned in my review video, was essentially a cross between Sex and the City and Bridget Jones's Diary. And yet, I couldn't brush off the feeling that some things were missing. Meanwhile, back in the US, Jeremiah honed his skills as a chef while Taylor organized a PR campaign for him. Taylor and Steven decided to work on their own future together. It was odd that Jeremiah ended the show with a new love interest and surrounded by people who loved him, while Belly and Conrad ended the show together but isolated from their families and friends. I don't know if it's just me, but it made me think about this reunion between Conrad and Belly. In fact, I genuinely believe that this was an intentional choice by Jenny Han to show Conrad and Belly isolated from anyone else because she was preparing a brand new conflict for the upcoming movie. What's especially exciting is that the movie will allow the story to expand in ways a fourth season might not have. Han explained that, for her, 3 seasons felt complete. It feels very complete to me as 3 seasons. I believe that people don't really want another season because there would be a lot more conflict and stories to cover. They were so eager to get Belly and Conrad together. Do you really want like a season of problems for them? Clearly, she believes that a film format provides a more focused, impactful medium to explore this final stage of Belly's journey. And who am I to oppose her? That being said, considering the fact that it takes about 2 years to produce a movie these days, I hate the idea that this story didn't finish with the 3rd season of the show and is forcing us to wait even longer. But tell me if I'm the only one having these thoughts. Also, the movie was announced in Paris after the Season 3 finale, where Belly and Conrad's actors took pictures in front of a new marquee that said, "The Summer I Turned Pretty, the movie." I know a lot of you were caught off guard, many unaware that the series would continue beyond its televised episodes. Yet, as Han explained, the decision to transition to film was deliberate, providing a space to give this concluding chapter the weight and attention it deserves. She said, "There is another big milestone left in Belly's journey, and I thought only a movie could give it its proper due," acknowledging the support of Prime Video in making this final chapter possible. The film promises to delve into the complex emotions that follow a long-awaited reunion. Han noted Belly's fear of hurting not only Conrad but also her entire family, making the final season's Paris scenes particularly moving. She said, "When he says, 'You're stuck with me forever,' it's not something that she can really go back on if they go down this road. She knows it's for keeps." And I think when you already had a big blow-up where she feels a lot of shame and guilt over what happened, you're fearful of hurting people. While the release date is still under wraps, Han has completed a draft of the script and the project is actively in development. She emphasized that the timing is important, wanting the actors to feel closer to true adulthood, reflecting the characters' growth authentically on screen. She said, "I think the closer we can get them to true adulthood, to me, it feels like the most poignant and beautiful way to tell the story." So perhaps the movie will come out sooner than the typical 2-year period. Who knows? As far as the plot is concerned, we know that we will finally get to see Belly reading Susanna's letter. We will also get to see how Belly and Conrad manage to continue their relationship long distance.